Guys, it's Kate and hope you're having a great day today. I'm back with another watercolor video and I want to also do some stamping today because I haven't done that in a while and I've been trying to get back into some of the things that I have done before and just really revisit them because you miss working with stuff that you haven't pulled out in a little while. And so I have my Mozart Kohlrabi palette. I've got a piece of New York Central watercolor paper. This is a 140-pound cold press, and I've just got it taped down on my little plastic clipboard here. I'm going to start with making a sort of neutral background. So I'm going to be working a lot with my browns, my Payne's gray, maybe even a little bit of yellow ochre, but we're going to have just a nice sort of warm background. So I'm going to add plenty of water to my brush. I'm working with just brown so far, and I'm going to start adding in a background on this page, and it's going to be a nice fuzzy background. Now I'm working with burnt sienna, which is a little bit redder, and I'm just going to go through and make a very loose background on my paper. I'm going to keep going with the burnt sienna. I really like that redness. And then I'm going to go into my burnt umber, which is darker and a little bit more brown. And I'm going to deposit that on my page. And I'm not being careful about my white spaces or anything. I'm fine if there's some white space in here. I want some of my edges to be soft, but they don't have to be all just sort of, I don't have to cover the whole page. So I've got a nice little base here. Now I'm going to go into my yellow ochre and just drop a little bit of that in there in a few spots over my existing color. And that's going to warm it up a bit and sort of bring some of this together. And then I'm going to go into my Payne's gray. And I'm going to be a little bit more sparing with this. I want to get a couple of little dark values in here, but not too much. And this will keep spreading as it dries. So I think that will do it. So we're going to let this dry and then come back and do some stamping and some doodles and whatever else we think of. All right, my base is all dry and I have a whole bunch of stuff here. So those of you who've been watching me for a while, you know that I got made my own foam stamps using the backing of old watercolor blocks, which is really nice firm cardboard, and have some foam on here. And I also keep it in this lovely dishwasher pack box, recycling for the win. And these are made with a glue gun. So these are just hot glue dropped down onto, I used a silicone bottom, and once they cooled and hardened, I pulled them up and now they're flexible little texture stamps. So I grabbed my box of homemade stamps. I actually just recently made a few new ones, and these just have some different shapes on them that I cut out and then glued to the cardboard. And I also grabbed a couple of tubes of acrylic paint, and I really like these two colors to be on here, and I may also add some black or something like that. I also grabbed my brown alcohol ink that I did myself, and I'm going to start with these little texture glue stamps. So I'm just going to lay this right on the paper and do a quick little spray, just like that. And then I'll lift it up and we'll have a little bit of texture here on the paper. I'm going to do one more, just like that. And this is going to start building up our base. So I'm going to be done with the alcohol ink now, and that just sort of deepens up a little bit of the background and also adds some subtle texture here. And next I'm going to move on to my stamps. Now I'm pretty sure that I'd like to add some of these little stripes. So I'm going to keep this out. And I think I'm also going to use these little leaf shapes to make a background pattern. So I'm going to put the rest of these to the side and keep these out. And because I'm working just on one sheet today, I'm going to just spread the paint with my brush onto the stamp. So I just grabbed my small little filbert And I think for my stripes, I would like to do the pink. So I'm just gonna open my tube, grab some paint right out of the top, and just add it to my little stencil. And a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to kind of stagger some of the coverage here. And not have it come all the way across. And let's add this to our paper. And then we have another layer of texture. So I'm going to add this again and just see how much we have come off. And I'm going to get some more paint and just repeat this just quickly. I'm going to spread paint a little bit differently this time, and then come in and just press it right in here. And so we have another layer of texture. So I'm going to be done with this stamp and rinse my brush, and I'm going to grab this ocean green, and I'm going to make some green leaves on here. Now this I want to cover more of the paper, so I'm going to do some full leaves. And this is the first time I'm using this stamp, so we'll see how it looks. And the nice thing about the thick foam is the paint, I mean, once you kind of dab off what you can, I just let it dry right on this stamp, and it's just a very thin layer, kind of like whatever dries on your brayer after you use it. But because it's just homemade foam, it doesn't really matter, which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to offset this a little bit and get it pressed into my paper. And we've got our first use. Now I'm going to paint some more on here. And I had a little bit of pink come up on my stencil because I didn't wait for it to dry, but that's just fine. Now that was a first press, so new presses will probably be a little bit better coverage-wise. That's pretty good. I'm going to let this dry and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my tape off and I'm off the backing now, and I love this background that we have. So I want to do a little bit of subtle hard lines on this background. So I grabbed my gray Posca, and I'm going to use this just to outline these blue leaves. And this is going to bring them out from the back just a little bit, but they're not going to be the star of the show. So you can just see the difference that that one little outline makes, and it's a toned down color. So it will work very well for this today. And I just want to give that sort of botanical look and bring this in front of all that other texture that we've got going on. So I'm going to do these two leaves that ended up kind of right next to each other. And I'm not doing everything. I've got some sort of little ghost print ones here. I'm not going to bother with those, just the ones that are pretty pigmented on the paper. And so now I've got my leaves done, and you can see they're kind of brought up to the front just a little bit more. Next is we need some nice deep values, and that's going to be what I draw my focal point with. So I'm going to grab my 05 fine liner, and this is a permanent marker. So I'm going to add kind of a fun shaped flower here, and I'm going to sort of put it in this area where I have less leaves, and I'm just going to add kind of a cup, and it's going to come down, and this is going to be the stem, and I'm going to have my first petal kind of come down like this, and it's going to hold the rest just like that. And I'm going to add a few more doodly areas to my flower. And then I'm going to have a long leaf come up out of this, and another long leaf, and this is going to be my doodle flower. Now what I might do is color this in a bit, and then add a few extra little lines here just to darken it a bit and add some more contrast. I'm going to add some more stripes here also, and just kind of keep going with the flow with this pattern. I kind of like this funky shape of the flower. So that's all I'm going to do with the black for now, and probably for good. And I'm going to grab my watercolor palette again, back to the Mozart, and I'm going to grab a brighter color. So I'm going to choose a dark color because I want this to pop forward. I'm going to go straight from the pan, and I'm going to use a pretty dry brush. So for my flower stem and leaves, I'm going to go for, I think, this grass green here. It's kind of a dark green and it's not too bright. And I'm just going to paint this right over my fine liner, right over everything. Now where I have it going over the acrylic paint, it may actually bead up a little bit because the acrylic paint is more plasticky and it won't stick as well, but that'll actually add a little bit to the texture of the flower, and it might give it a bit of an interesting look. So I'm just going to keep painting on this little stem. I'm going to end it in a place where it kind of feels natural, and then I'm going to start having it blend into the petal itself, right about there. And then I'm going to rinse my brush and go in for another color. Now I think for my next color I'm going to use a nice bright reddish pink, so I'm going to go into this cerise and start painting in my flower. And I'm just staying inside the lines, letting it come and meet this green and even blend with it a little bit. But then I'm just going to keep going with my flower color. And because watercolor is transparent, you can still see this background coming through, and it looks pretty cool. So I really like this. And I'm just going to fill in this whole flower. And doing a glazing color like this really helps kind of cut back on this busyness on the outside, but you can still see some of that background detail coming through, and I really like that effect. It just gives you a lot of interest, but it still helps to isolate your focus area. So I went in and grabbed a bit more color because I want to make it pretty rich in some of this flower and give it a little bit of value. So we have kind of a darker spot up here, and maybe I can go back into my hyacinth violet and add a little bit of that as well. And then probably where I've got some of these sort of stripy areas where I doodled the wavy lines, I'll fill those in a little bit darker as well. So we have some extra interest here on our flower. And I really like this effect too. This is turning out to be a pretty nice little painting. I think I really like this how it is, and I am going to call this finished. And I'm going to give you the close-up, and I really like how this watercolor paint kind of separated a little bit over some of that acrylic. It's a really neat little texture on there. But here is the close-up of our sheet. Very simple and easy, and really nice to work with the mixed media because you can just do so much and kind of play around with your materials. So I hope you liked this video today. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep creating.